Ayo, what is poppin' people? It is your boy, Young M, aka Little Monkey, about to climb them trees cause you know I'm about to get this green. Young Obama, fresh out of Senate, you already know I'm trying to get that legislation, we passing out the paper, and today's video is going to be one where we cover quite a hefty topic, cause if you read the title, obviously, today we're going to be talking about Nintendo's sheer level of incompetence and negligence to which they have subjected the Splatoon community to. So, you know, just strap in, get comfy, because I'm gonna be here for a while, and you know, I hope you enjoy the video. Alright, so to begin, you know, I'm gonna give you a quick synopsis of, you know, the lead up to this before we even get into the main topic, which was that during the summer of 2021, Nintendo decided to host 4 sets of Splatoon 2 tournaments for North America. Now, all of these tournaments, I do believe, maybe except for one, all had very problematic issues. They were all very mishandled, in my opinion, and I think a lot of people would agree with me on that in regards of how the tournament was really done. Because for the first tournament, which I believe was won by not F2N, you know, same difference. I think that was the only one where there really wasn't any, you know, large controversy which sparked afterwards. But immediately, you know, as soon as that ended and, you know, the next week came up, hell basically broke loose. So there was an event where the entire time it was best of 1, random maps, tower control.
All matches will be continued as best of 1! Random map!
What? Wait, that kind of sucks though.
Due to system error, all matches will be continued as a best of 1. You're f***ing kidding me!
There was another event where a team was, I believe they either lost a set or they were disqualified because they were caught using, you know, and get this, ability doubler, you know, so they were penalized immediately for that. And of course, there's a notorious final tournament where a team called Elite Four used alting and very cheap tactics in order to, you know, win. And that is essentially like the biggest problem that we're dealing with. So this team, known as Elite Four, basically, you know, came in. There were 4 people. I mean, obviously it's 4 people. Splatoon, it's a Splatoon team. You know, these were 4 people who, you know, they alted, they went against the rules, and unfortunately ended up winning the event. Now, there was major backlash of this team winning the event. There was docs being dropped. A lot of people were being exposed, and you know, you believe that Nintendo versus, or Nintendo in general, would keep an eye out for this, that they'd be aware. But unfortunately, that didn't happen, because most recently, and now we're getting into the main topic of today's video, most recently, the Fresh 4, I believe the event is called the Fresh 4 tournament, was announced by Nintendo Versus, and it's the roster to which we had received was not F2N, Arctic Moon, Elite 4, and I forgot what the other team was. I'm gonna have it on the screen, of course, but you know, I'm going off my head right now. I think it's Starburst. I'm pretty sure the last thing probably would be Starburst. I'm not too sure, but you know, you get my point. You know, the 4 teams that won the event were announced, and you know, people were not happy. People were not happy about the teams that were confirmed, because Elite 4, again, the team which alted, they made it in. And so a lot of people were, you know, very pissed about that, rightfully so. And so this video, again, is just really just me, you know, exposing, I mean, it's not really exposing because everybody knows, but it's just highlighting the very absurd level of foolishness, you know, which Nintendo has negated. So, you know, and it's to the point where I personally believe that it's like, it's a false sense of interest, to where they just pretend like they care. And they're just, you know, they're like, oh yeah, good job, yada yada, and then they just look over, roll their eyes, and say, these fucking idiots. You know, it's that type of situation, I believe, that's currently, you know, going on. So it's like, it's this like vast unawareness, really, because almost unprofessional as well. You know, they're very unaware, negligent, and unprofessional sometimes into how they handle their business, right? Back when there was the whole melee drama with the big house, you know, there was the moment to when teams, you know, they came together in the Splatoon community, they held hands, and they were like, all right, we're gonna stand up for melee, we're gonna try to represent. And so I think every top 4 team you know, they ensured that, I don't even think it was just every top 4 team, a lot of teams in Splatoon, a lot of teams had Melee in their name or Save Melee in their name, and Nintendo didn't like that, so they tried, you know, they turned off the streaming for the tournament, and then for day 2 they tried to act like, you know, everybody was all peachy, and of course they were neglected, you know, people left them to the wayside. And then we got the Squid House, which was, you know, one of the greatest things that ever happened to the Splatoon scene, you know. And it's not even just you know, just the overall experience. There's also the fact of, you know, if you were to be a winner, the fact that our NA champions have been subjected to 6 copies of arms as a prize. You know, I'm not playing. 6-time, you know, champions having to get the same game 6 times. It's like yeah, it's like just saying that out loud, you tend to like realize, you know, you like turn your head and you're like, 6 times? Like 6 times? Like you couldn't even give them a different game, or, you know, something else. Like these people are like mastering your game, like putting the craft to the absolute limit, and you give them the same game 6 times. Like again, you couldn't even give them a different game. You gave them arms 6 times. That's just embarrassing in my opinion. And you know, some people will be like, oh, at least North America gets events, at least, you know, Nintendo cares about North America. And it's like, in my opinion, I don't really know if I'd say that, you know, we should care or really accept it, because it's like, what's the point of even like showing up and like being like, you know, hey, yeah, we're holding events, yada yada, when you're just letting a lot of bullshit, you know, pass. You know, you're only active in very, very weird situations and when you choose to be, but in much larger events, you're like, nah, this isn't a business. When it's literally your event, you know, none of this needs to be happening, because Nintendo can literally snap a finger and, you know, it's just all water under the bridge. So, you know, I find it very, very, very interesting. Now, of course, there is the larger controversy, which is, I'm pretty sure soon gonna go down, which is the fact that the Fresh 4 event is the same day as a community held event called Launch Day. Pretty sure it's called Launch Day. And obviously, I'm pretty sure we're gonna have a whole Squid House event go down again, where as many teams as possible, or not really as many teams because there's only 4 teams, but every team that would have participated is gonna instead focus on the community organized event, because obviously you're gonna win much more. You're gonna actually gain money from what you're doing. You're gonna have a much better experience. It's a way better format, which I'm gonna get into very soon. It's a way better format to use. And again, it's just an overall better experience, because you're not shaking your head or you're not subjected to some completely random event that's gonna leave you playing Arawana Tower Control best of 1. You know, so it's just insane. And yeah, there's also, so we already know there's bad prizes, but there's also the fact that it is an endearing process to even get your prize. I was talking with Kyo, I'm gonna have this on the screen. I was talking with Kyo, I was asking him, you know, where the prize is, what's going on. And he was telling me that it's a very endearing process. It takes a very long time. You know, at least Nintendo is like decently communicating with them. But Kyo, this isn't Kyo's like first, right in the saddle. Kyo's been doing this for a while. Kyo's won event after event. Again, 6-time NA champion, FT win, everybody knows these guys. So, you know, but it's the fact that it's taken months, and people are asking where are their prizes. You know, a lot of people are like raising eyebrows, like, bro, what's going on? And this is a multi-billion-dollar company. You know, it's genuinely embarrassing. So the tournaments are subjugated to foolishness. The organizers don't care. And I don't mean like the organizers because they're TOs who genuinely like put work in, but it's the fact that Nintendo just doesn't care. I'll say that instead. Nintendo, the main organizer, the main name, just does not care. They don't give a fuck. And then there is the horrifyingly bad formatting that is used for these tournaments, which was the fact that they use a ladder consistently. And ladders are, from my current experience as a competitive player, the worst type of formatting I've ever seen used for tournaments, just because of how easy it is to cheat, to go out your way, to just, you know, be a complete scumbag when it comes down to laddering.
We literally just got dodged!
Literally, look, they literally just readied up into this match like 2 seconds in.
So, to explain for those who might not understand what just happened, in Nintendo's ladder tournament format, there is no penalty for not checking in, and because this team never checked in, despite the fact that they queued for a game seconds beforehand, talked in chat, added me, joined the room, and played through an entire match, they somehow completely forgot to check in, then remembered to check in for their next match within a minute of joining it. This is match dodging, where you avoid playing against a specific team so you don't get a loss on your record if you have no chance of winning. It is probably one of the most scummy things that you could do in a format like this. However, it should be noted it's the tournament format that allows for this to happen in the first place. So, we ended up with one less win that we would have had if we didn't get dodged.
And I mean, overall, I just prefer, you know, not best of, but, you know, double elimination, single, you know, those types of things. I prefer those significantly greater to ladders, right? And it's the fact that Nintendo is very insistent on using ladders, which is another issue. I think just about almost every event they ever hold all the time, there's always a ladder, and you just, you're going to your wits' end trying to ensure that you know, you don't drop a game or a set or whatever, because those things add up, those things count. You know, it's really insane. So, you know, it's just a lot. It's crazy. Nintendo has been very, in my opinion, disappointing. To say the very least, they've been very disappointing. And this is only stuff I'm covering based on like the last couple months. This isn't even like the overall, you know? And that's just how like bad Nintendo is when it comes on to these things. Now, the very crazy thing was Nintendo like clearly shows that when they do care, they go out their way to apologize, because the main Nintendo America Twitter came out and there was a bug for Metroid Dread that was recently discovered. They immediately got on top of that. They said, "Hey, yo, we're sorry that people have experienced this, yada yada yada." So it's like, why are you not catering to a much more active consumer base within your competitive and overall your communities? Because these people care a lot about you guys. We spend so much money on your merchandise, on your games. We spend so much hours on your games. I have 3,000 plus hours in Splatoon 2, you know? And it's like, I never have I ever like felt like Nintendo was like genuinely like caring about us, because the game right now is in a terrible state, meta-wise, absolutely abysmal state. I hate playing this game at this point in time. If I'm not playing with my friends, you know, it's awful. You know, the solo system is still terrible. Like, people complain about these things on a daily basis. They clearly see us and they hear us and they know what is happening, and they choose not to. You know, it's very despicable, it's very scummy, and, you know, I've lost a lot of respect for Nintendo. Not even for the last few years, in these last months, I've lost so much respect for Nintendo as a company. I just like their games, and I like the system that I play the game on, and that's as far as it goes. I would probably like fight somebody if they worked at Nintendo and told me. Now, obviously, it's not every Nintendo employee, but it's, you know, the head honchos over there and all the people who are responsible for these things, you know? That's really all I wanted to say for this video. I wanted to get my thoughts out there. You know, again, Nintendo is very, very, very disappointing. They failed so many people, and they just insist on acting like nothing's happened. And if they want to be like that, I guess they can be like that, you know? There's going to be bigger things happening for the community. Again, the launch day event is going to be happening. Please do ensure that, you know, if you are part of the teams who are for the Fresh 4, except for the Elite 4, we really don't care about you guys. Despicable people. Please do, you know, sign up for launch day instead of Fresh 4. Make sure that you're at launch day instead. You know, I think it's a $500 starting prize pool compared to, you know, 3 statues of a fucking cat. So that's definitely much better in my opinion, you know? So thanks for watching, guys. You know, I hope you have a good day. I hope Nintendo can really like step up the game, do better, especially for Splatoon 3. And, you know, hope you guys have a good one.
Listen, I'm defeating every nigga, shredded objects, like you all brighter than the sky of a spot fest, turn into a trap of foe, all these holes in his chest. Can't you tell I'm the sauce, it's just the way I'm getting dressed. Mr. Grizz, I'm the boss, can better let me down.